Mic test.
Can you hear me like this?
Yes.
On the back?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I will not use the mic. In October, the last time I was in this room, there were 30 to 40 people in this room. An expert speaker was giving his speech in front of the crowd. He said something to me. He said something to me that had me thinking ever since. He said something to me that changed what I think what's important in public speaking. Well, ladies and gentlemen, can I have a show of hands? How many of you has cleared your first speech in Toastmaster? Okay. Shelly, what is the greatest difficulty that you think in preparing one speech? Just short answer will do.
To face the fear.
To face the fear?
To stay on stage.
Stay on the stage. Alright, thank you very much. So there are many different kinds of difficulties we face in giving a public speaking speech. In my opinion, the greatest speech in giving a public speaking speech is not planning the content of the speech. It's not planning how to flow in a speech. And it's not how to end a speech. So what is it? It is at the beginning of the speech, how to start a speech. I'm sure that everyone here in this room face this kind of situation in your life. When you're trying to write an essay, you have a lot of ideas and contents that you want to share, put into the paper, but however, you don't know how to start. Similarly, when you're going to giving a speech, you have a lot of ideas, information that you want to share to the audience, but however, you just don't know how to start a speech. So today, let's break this difficulty together. Let's break this difficulty together and learn some new way in starting a speech. I have no idea how many of you are speakers, but if you go to one of the conferences, 8 out of 10 speakers will start their speech this way. Number 1. My name is Johnson. I come from Malaysia. This is the topic I want to share to you about some ways to start a new speech. So these are one of some common ways that they use to start a speech. But however, the moment I start my speech like this, the moment you hear me introducing myself, the next thing you will do is take out your handphone, switch on the Wi-Fi, and check any new notification on Facebook. This is because the moment I introduce myself, the moment you hear my name, which you already know in the first slide, the moment I repeat what you have known, the first impression on your mind is that this talk is nothing important. It's nothing new. It's just boring and not interesting. The second way, the mic's working. How many times I brought? Oh, okay, all right. Is it plugged in? Okay, I'm going to start. So this shows the nervousness of the speaker, and this is not what we want. I'm sure if you go to one of the conferences, you for sure see some moments like this. I think there are 3 ways of starting a speech correctly. The first way is to throw a question that matters to the audience. Well, how do we phrase a problem that the audience faces in a question? Let me show you some examples. What is the greatest difficulty you face in doing a public speaking speech? Have you ever stuck in writing the introduction of an essay? These are some of the examples that you can use to start a speech. Second, you can start a speech this way by throwing a fact that will shock the audience. Every 2 minutes, the energy reaching the earth from the sun is equivalent to whole annual usage of humanity. All the energies, all the cars, everything moving, all the lightings, all the air conditioning in the world in 1 year is just equal to 2 minutes of sun. Does that change how you think about energy? Does that change your perspective about energy? Yeah. So there are a lot of things that you could follow. You can talk about solar panels. You can talk about renewable energy, non-renewable energy. So these were the facts that will shock the audience. Last way, and I think it's the best way in starting a speech, is that we tell a story to the audience. We're always trained to tell a story to the audience. And if you tell a story to a child, how do you tell them? We use the magic word, once upon a time. Let me tell you, when you say once upon a time to a child, he'll lean forward, he'll engages, he'll be ready to listen. And we people, we love story more than listening to a boring 40 minutes lecture. Am I correct? Yes. So, a story attracts the audience the most. So, but however, we don't hear Bill Gates say, once upon a time, there's a computer, so I come up with this Microsoft. No. And we don't hear Steve Jobs say, once upon a time, there was an Apple. No, there was an Apple iPhone, okay. So we don't hear they say this, but yet we still listen to what he says. Why? This is because there's a grown-up way of saying, once upon a time. So how? How to say once upon a time in a grown-up way? In October, the last time I was in this room, there were about 30 to 40 people in this room. An expert speaker who is speaking in front, he said something to me that had me thinking ever since. He said something to me that changed what I think what's important in public speaking. Now, I can pause for about 30 seconds, 2 to 3 minutes, and you would want to know what he said. So ladies and gentlemen, there are many ways that you can start a speech. However, you want to start a speech that engages the audience, that arouses the interest of the audience, and also you want the audience to listen. Or not, your speech will be meaningless. So the next time when you are going to deliver a speech, remember, plan carefully in your opening. And by doing so, I'm sure we are one step closer to be a better public speaker. Thank you very much. Back to you.